Natural and logical consequences are the golden standard of teaching behavior. They're very powerful tools because they teach naturally the relationship between cause and effect. So let's make sure we have a basic understanding of what we're talking about. When we talk about natural consequences are the things that naturally happen. As a parent or a youth worker or a caregiver, didn't require me to do a thing. For example, a young child refuses to wear their coat. They go outside, they get cold. When they get cold, they realize they need a coat. That's a natural consequence. It just took care of itself. Logical consequences are also very powerful teachers. Logical consequences are those consequences that are logically paired with the behavior. For example, we have a young child who doesn't want to eat their broccoli. The idea is they don't get their dessert. Broccoli and dessert are logically paired with one another. We see this happen with our older kids at home as well. We have a child who refuses to get out of bed in the morning, therefore we back their bedtime up a half an hour. Sometimes we don't have a natural or logical consequence that comes to mind, particularly when we're in the heat of the moment. When we're in a situation where we're not quite sure what to do, that's where we recommend using PAX Amends. PAX Amends is based in restorative consequences. Restorative consequences are those consequences that help us to do something when the harmony is broken in the relationship that fixes it, it restores the situation. In other words, it's a way or an attempt to make things right again. So when we do PAX Amends, we're going to work as adults with our kids to create a list before we need it. So we're not doing these things in the heat of the moment. We're thinking about what are those things that are good for the context or good for our home or good for the environment that we're in that a youth could do to make things right again. So at home, it might be matching socks or matching the lids to the Tupperware or writing a letter to a grandparent. It's not that it's logically paired with the infraction that's taken place, it's that it's something that's good for the environment. It's an attempt to make things right again. We use PAX Amends often as an opportunity to put some space between the child and the adult. This is not only an opportunity to make things right, but to let things de-escalate. The other advantage to PAX Amends is that as something has been broken in that environment, we now have an opportunity to authentically praise the child for doing something good for the environment.